Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician. Today we're going to be going into a video on my favorite wrench organizer. So over the years I've used, 3 different wrench organizers, and that's not including when I first started buying tools about 10 years ago, like for the automotive field. When I first started buying wrench sets, I was just using the organizers they came in, whether it's the Tekton wrenches that just came on the rails, or if it was my Easy Red Long double box end ratcheting wrenches that originally came in some EVA foam. A lot of them had their own organizers, and I used that until I realized some of them just took up too much space and I needed to get them organized. After that, I started testing out a few different wrench organizers, and the one I'm currently using is by far my favorite. There are some very expensive options out there that are very customizable. And then there are some more affordable ones. This one's actually fairly affordable for being a modular one, because if you have about the same amount of wrenches that I do, then you can spend a lot of money on some of these brands. And don't get me wrong, some of them are very nice and some of them will save you a ton of space, but not every option out there is extremely expensive. And then there are some very cheap options out there. So if you don't have a ton of wrenches, you can save a lot of money. But let's go ahead and get into the organizer that I believe is the best, or at least it's my favorite and the best one that I've used so far. And I don't really see myself changing from this. So if you guys are interested, it will be linked down in the description. I'll also have a couple of others that I've used in the past, because there weren't really anything wrong with them, but I just prefer this. It's just worked better. I like how it holds the wrenches. I like its overall design. So there will be the one that we're going over today, as well as a couple other options down in the description. If you guys are interested, it's all there for you. But let's go ahead and get into this. If you guys enjoy, make sure to smash that thumbs up. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Let's go ahead and take a look. So here we're going to be going into my favorite wrench organizer. So when I first started buying tools for home and when I was going to college, I just kind of used the organizers that they came on, whether that be like the rubber V-shaped rails that they come on, or if they came in EVA foam. I basically just used whatever they came in until I outgrew the space that I had, and I knew switching organizers was going to allow me to fit more in that area. So after moving out of their own organizers, I moved to the Toolbox widget, which I still have this box outfitted. This is kind of my overflow. This was when I was going to college, and the college provided a lot of tools. So I had that set prepared for work, and then I started buying everything I wanted for the house. And then I ended up getting an internship and getting a job on a race team that supplied all the tools. So this box was never needed and just went home, and it's kind of like my overflow box. Basically everything I got from school, if I don't for some reason have it in this box, then I'll get in that box. And there's a couple drawers, like my electrical drawer and a couple specialty tools that I'll grab out of here, but most of that's overflow. But I do have a lot of wrenches up here still, which I'm using the Toolbox widget, and I had this outfitted with the Toolbox widget, but ended up going with the Ernst / Tekton. Just like in my previous video when I went over the pliers, I used the Toolbox widget, but I really like the Ernst / Tekton one. And Ernst released these, I don't know, maybe a little over a year ago that I found them and wanted to try them out. So I just bought a small set and realized that I really like the design over the Toolbox widget. It was just kind of personal preference. I like the width of them and the angle that they sit at. Plus you can get these in non-magnetic or magnetic, and they're affordable in both options. Now, if you buy these from Tekton, they're only available in the black and the red to differentiate from SAE and metric, and they only come non-magnetic. But if you buy them from Ernst, they have them available in like maybe 5 or 6 colors, and then they have, non-magnetic or magnetic. So you are limited when you go the Tekton route, but if you have rewards through the Tekton website, then you might be able to get it for a better price. But typically the Ernst pricing is better. So always make sure you compare the two just to make sure you're getting the best deal. Plus, if you're wanting a different color, then Ernst is the best route to go. But I did order mine from Tekton, and I got them with the non-magnetic bottoms just because they have little L-shaped feet on the bottom of them that dig into mats real well, so they aren't going anywhere. Like, nothing's going anywhere. So once the wrenches are in there, there's enough weight, it digs into that mat that you don't have to worry about them moving around. Now, if you don't have a drawer liner, or maybe you do and you're in a tool cart and a rough floor, then the magnetic liner might be better for you. Or if you're mobile and you keep your tools in a truck, then the magnetic version might be better for you. But while I enjoyed what I started off with, I ran out of room, switched to the Toolbox widget. Those worked well, but I just liked the wider base. And the Toolbox widget, I'll show you real quick, I still use over here. They aren't as wide, and then for the larger ones you get angled, which is nice, and you can get some spacers to space them out and whatnot. But to see the size, you have to order basically these little drop-in tabs, which can be spendy depending on how many wrenches you have, and they don't have all of the sizes. So like you see gaps here in some of them, and that's because they don't have that size, or at least they didn't when I got these. Now, these have been absolutely fantastic organizers, but I wanted to give these ones a shot, and I actually ended up really liking them, but I wasn't going to redo everything just because these still do work perfectly fine. I will have the Toolbox widget website linked down in the description if this is what you prefer. It is a veteran-owned company, so I do like to support them, and they make some really good products. And these are all magnetic, so they do stay in place really, really well. Each one has an individual magnet. And so that is kind of my overflow box and more of my SAE stuff, whereas this is primarily metric, and then I just have a couple different sets of SAE in here just in case I need it, because this is my primary box I go to. It's just quicker. Over here I have my long pattern gear wrench set that goes all the way up to 32. Here I have a Capri set. This is one of their older designs, 90 tooth mechanism, non-reversible. They do have their new reversible ratcheting wrenches, so you can see this is my overflow, but this is kind of my Capri drawer, and I have a few of those, but I do like the Capri sets that come in the EVA foam, so I didn't want to take those out and try and make space. I don't have the space. Here I have my long double box end ratcheting wrenches, 120 XPs from Gear Wrench, Tekton stubbies, Gear Wrench deep offsets, a couple flare nut wrench sets over there, both metric and SAE, the Tekton stubbies and SAE, and a Matco spline drive over there. But with this, you can get stickers with these as well, which is going to be cheaper than buying these tabs. While these are really nice, and you can take like a marker, a paint marker, and color over those so they're a little bit easier to identify without getting super close to them. But those are going to add up if you have a lot of wrenches. I just like that you can just simply stick a sticker on here. I didn't, just because I know what sizes this set ranges, 8 to 19. And so if I wanted to grab a 15, then I know it's roughly in the middle. So, but it is nice that they're just simple stickers that you can slap on there, and they are fully modular, so you can take them apart. Like, I actually have a few extras here, so they just snap in like that. There you can see these are from Tekton, and so when you go to attach it, that backside right there just drops over this lip like so, and then they click into place. And then you can get some that are double and then singles, so you can really fill your space from the front of the drawer to the back and fit as many wrenches as possible. And then you can, do something like this. If you have a metric set that runs up but then ends, you can then continue with an SAE set or whatever it may be. And then looking at the bottom of these, you see those little L's on there. That's going to be what holds it to the mat. And these circles on the inside, that is where you would normally find the magnets for these. So if you get them through Ernst, that is where the magnet would be. And these are actually quite affordable, especially like the larger the set you get, the cheaper it is per piece. So I really enjoyed it. This is what I think I'll be using, until in 5-10 years when somebody comes up with something
superior, which I don't know will ever happen with a wrench organizer, but I really enjoy this organizer. Let me know what you guys use, or if you guys are interested in this or the Toolbox widget. I will have both of these linked down in the description for you guys. But if you already have an organizer, let me know what you guys have, if you enjoy it, or if it's something you recommend others to stay away from. Maybe you don't have great experiences with it. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below of your guys' thoughts. And as always, if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.